today I just wanted to talk about my eyebrows. At this point, it has been a year and a half since I got them tattooed, so it's definitely a little late to be revisiting this footage, but it is good footage that I took, and I still get asked questions when I bring it up about what it was like to get your eyebrows tattooed. So I wanted to kind of give an update on where my eyebrows are now, a year and a half post-procedure, as well as B, give a little bit of insight into what it is like to get your eyebrows tattooed and my experience and what the healing process is like and things of that nature. Now, with brow tattooing, it's not as deep as a permanent tattoo. Essentially, the ink is not supposed to penetrate below the skin, like the top layer of skin, the way that a tattoo is. So it's not a permanent procedure, at least specifically with the studio that I went to, which is Sara Justice in Atlanta. The procedure is not a permanent procedure. It's essentially supposed to fade away pretty much to nothing over the course of 2 years, 1 to 2 years. So I'm like right in the middle of that sweet spot where I should probably be making my next appointment, and I'll get to why I haven't. But it's not permanent, it's just temporary, and it's such a superficial surface level tattoo that it's very, very subtle, which is what I was going for. Now at Sara Justice in particular, because there are a lot of people who do different types of brows, right? So there's microblading where you're actually cutting the skin with a blade. There's brow tattooing, and within that there's like draw the hairs brow tattooing, and there's kind of fill it in like stipple style, like shading with the tattoo sort of brow tattoos. That lasts longer and is a lot darker, but it gives a much more, I'll show a picture on the screen. Essentially, I've heard it called the powder brow, but it looks kind of like this, and it essentially gives you a much darker and more precise, like if you're looking for that like 2016, the arch is super crisp and you're concealing below it kind of brow, this is for you. If you're like me and you're looking for the, I just don't want people to know that my eyebrows don't grow hair in certain areas anymore, but I'm not really trying to put that much makeup on a daily basis anymore, then you might enjoy the Hyper-Realism brows that I got, which look like this. It's a little bit more bushy, a little bit more freestyle, a little bit more natural. In particular with Sara Justice, she kind of like assesses your face, sees where your brows might have been, you know, what shape are your brows sort of naturally falling in, and then she'll create a shape that is unique to you. Because I work from home and I largely don't wear makeup, I was going for more of that natural look. I also over-tweezed my eyebrows like a lot of us in the 2000s and really just wanted a good baseline for me to get my eyebrows back to a healthy place. I definitely would go back to Sara Justice, but what I have noticed over the course of the year is that my eyebrows really have kind of come back in. I think because of the tattoo, I was less, particular about when hairs would kind of come in. I wasn't plucking them and tweezing them and then running the risk potentially of over plucking. I definitely have a tendency to like laser focus in on things and do maybe too much. So because I wasn't really looking at my eyebrows and thinking, oh, they need to be tweezed like I normally would, I kind of left them alone. And now that I'm a year and a half out from my original appointment, I feel like my brows are a lot fuller naturally than they were prior to my appointment. I will put up pictures on the screen as well of what we were working with brow-wise before I went to get my eyebrows tattooed in the first place. And girl, they were hanging on by a thread. It was also 2016, the days of, brows on fleek. So I was really tweezing in that arch and then drawing it in with like the Anastasia brow pomade kind of moment. A lot of girls were doing that, we all remember. It was a lot of work, it was a lot of maintenance, and I truly didn't feel like myself without those eyebrows. I had to wake up every day, put those eyebrows on and a bit of mascara before anyone could see me. And then when I started working from home, I was like, this is too much work for Zoom calls, which drove me to pursue a brow tattoo. And now we're gonna go right into the footage of leading up to, during, and immediately post my second appointment from my brow tattoo with Sara Justice. Actually, I can take my sunglasses off because we're here and I don't need them anymore. But yeah, so today is my eyebrow tattoo touch up. You do the initial appointment to kind of lay the groundwork and make sure, the pigment takes in your skin and you don't have any issues with healing and all that stuff. But then you're supposed to do a touch up because, you know, life happens and maybe, you know, you are allergic or maybe, I mean, you shouldn't get this done, even the first appointment if you're allergic, but the point being, like, you kind of want to see how the ink settles, especially if you've never had a tattoo before. You kind of want to see how the ink settles, how everything heals. The initial tattoo, it's like this hair in particular, that I know is tattooed. God, the sun. But it's like right in the front here. It's really blurred now. Like when I get really close in my makeup mirror, I can tell that it's kind of like a fuzzy line and not like such a defined line as it was when I got this done a month or 2 months ago. And just like early December was when I got it done. It's now early Feb, yeah, so 2 months ago. Sorry, I just realized I'm not receiving text message alerts, and I want to make sure that I was driving, so I do not disturb while driving on my phone. I want to make sure that when she texts me, you know, COVID, so I can't go upstairs until her previous client is gone and she's cleaned and everything. So I'm waiting in the car until she texts me. Alright, you'll have to pardon me. My battery died and I definitely didn't bring my charger, so but I did want to get the end kind of results of where we're at. This is of course immediately after the appointment, so it's still might be a little red and it's potentially darker than it will be when it fully heals, but this is kind of where we're at. I think it looks really, really good. I just wanted to film it with my phone. I was gonna do it with my camera, but yeah, so that's kind of where we are post the initial appointment. So immediately post-appointment, you might notice a little bit of redness. It will scab up like a traditional tattoo, so after you start washing it, those scabs will kind of flake away. The very first day you wash it, you do it with, there's my husband peeping in on me while I'm cleaning my brows, but essentially you'll want to wash it that same day with some gentle soap, and then after that continue to wash it twice a day with a oil-free facial cleanser. All these were instructions, directly given to me by my tattoo artist, so definitely follow the instructions given to you. So yeah, wash them, pat dry with paper towel, then put a tiny little bit of Aquaphor. That was what I was instructed to do, so I did that diligently for 10 days post-appointment. And as you can see, the pigment lasted very, very well. I definitely think that the second appointment makes a huge difference. The first appointment did not last this long and stay this dark. And you can see here in this clip, even a year and a half post-appointment, it's definitely faded, but I'm still able to see results. So definitely recommend this procedure for anyone looking to get some nice brows. So yeah, that's basically my experience with getting my brows tattooed. I definitely recommend it if you are interested in having semi-permanent brows that you don't have to put makeup on anymore. I loved them when I was on my honeymoon in Dominican Republic, swimming every day. I tell you, I used to be the lady who was putting on her eyebrows to go to the beach or to go to the doctor or to do a road trip or fly on an airplane, like anything and everything. I had to have my brows on, and it was so ridiculous because for most of that stuff, nobody's looking at you, and I just want to rush out the door sometimes, so having these has truly cut out my makeup routine during days when I'm not really trying to look cute, errand running days where who really wants to waste their good expensive makeup on a run to Publix? Not me. So I am very happy, truly could not be happier with my brows, and even though they faded now and they look definitely more natural and less done up, which admittedly, like I have said, is what I was going for, but they definitely don't look like they're tattooed anymore. Even so, I still feel like it was totally worth it. I would definitely do it again. I mean, I just have different financial priorities right now, but if money were no object, I can tell you I would be back in that studio in a heartbeat. She did such a great job to feel like on a daily basis, I don't have to put on makeup to hang out with a friend or grab a coffee or run out and do an errand. I mean, can you even put a price on that? I can't. I mean, obviously Sara Justice Studio can, but I can't. Definitely feel like it was worth it 100%, and I would totally recommend it over microblading, especially for the recovery period. I'm telling you, if you have tattoos especially, it's a good 2 weeks and you're Gucci. I have heard certain horror stories from people about microblading being this whole thing to heal from, and I can tell you that after 10 days, these puppies I couldn't even feel them. I mean, after the first few days, I couldn't even feel them. So yeah, definitely on a scale of 1 to a piercing or my hip tattoo, it's a 2 pain-wise. So all in all, totally worth it. Luxurious experience from end to end, and I wake up with brows, which is the best thing ever. If you have any other questions, I'm an open book. Feel free to drop a comment. I love to talk about this process. It was so fun to research. It was so fun to do, and I'm super grateful that I did it. So more than happy to talk more about it if any further information is, if you're interested, or if you've done this before, let me know, whatever, I'm just here to tell my stories. Thanks so much for watching. I try to put out videos every Friday, so check back for a new video next week, and see you next time. I don't know how to end videos.